Greetings and salutations to you all, ladies and gents. I welcome you back to another episode of Veteran Hardcore Adventures with your good buddy Kluger. This is episode 3 of our first gameplay impressions of the Shaman Mastery, I guess. Or as I have decided to commandeer this Veteran Hardcore Adventures, but with a bit of a different spin. The previous 2 episodes I had been running basically a melee two-handed Shaman build, which I would say is effective. It was an effective build, but I've decided to hijack this series temporarily simply because I wanted to try something different. I'd been running a lot of melee builds to that point. When Shaman first came out, it occurred to me that a two-handed lightning melee build would work really well, and it seemed to be working pretty well. But I wasn't particularly engaged with it, if I'm being completely honest. It felt a little grindy, a little bit repetitive, so I wanted to try something else. And so here we are. This build did occur to me, and I'm sure it's occurred to many others. It's a more suitable place to use totems. I know you guys would have seen me using totems in my two-handed Shaman build. It didn't really make, it was kind of worked, but it didn't make the most sense. Maybe when we go back to that build, you'll see that I have removed the totems from it. So I'm trying something different here with the totems, but making them more of a focal point. I'm trying, well, I guess I am spreading myself thin to a certain extent with this build, but we'll get into that shortly. As you can see, as I mentioned, it's focused on totems, but also focused on pets. So let's have a quick look. Occultist is one of my options, which I haven't fully fleshed out yet. Basically, what I'll be getting from Occultist is 1 point probably in Raven and healing. I'll get the Hellhound, at least a few points to make him decent in terms of DPS. I'll probably try to get up to second right because of the vitality damage that it offers as part of Soleil's Witchfire, so that'll be very good. And potentially as well I'll get Blood of Dreig, but nothing too much from here. This is the auxiliary to the Shaman thing that we're doing here. So, drastically different to the previous 2 episodes, as you can see. This is a completely fresh character. 8 points into Devouring Swarm, which is kind of the main attack and debuff. Does vitality damage, does bleeding damage, and reduces resistances and attack damage converted to health. I probably need to put more points in here before it actually becomes more effective as a damage dealer, but we're getting there. It's turning out to be more auxiliary in terms of its damage output. Most of my damage is coming from Storm Totem, which is very sick and nice, with the, what's this called again? The modifier, I forget, which converts all the damage to vitality. Wendigo Totem also doing vitality damage and healing us, and we've got Blood Pact for extra vitality damage, extra vitality decay. So I'm going to put a lot of points up in here. Got 4 points into Summon Briarthorn. He does pretty decent damage, it must be said. He's pretty freaking awesome, and yeah, wow, he's got some nice buffs there just looking at him. He's also got Ground Slam, just 1 point in there for stun for now. And 1 point into Emboldening Roar, which basically buffs everybody, which is very, very cool. And he casts it a lot, which is awesome. So getting Hellhound, and as well I want to get the item, the Grimoire of Ognapesh, which will give me another pet that I can summon, and he will also get that damage buff, which is very cool. I've got 1 point into Conjure Primal Spirit, which has proven handy for killing bosses thus far. It's a pretty tough little dude. Well, not so little, it's basically a what are those things called? Come on, memory. The Manticores. It's basically a Manticore. And I've got 1 point so far into Primal Bond, which I'll probably put more points into because it buffs the bejesus out of us and our pets, which is very cool. So yeah, the long-term plan here is a lot more points in Briarthorn, probably more points into Emboldening Roar, and more points into Primal Bond, a lot more points up in that business over there. And I may eventually get Mog Drogon's Pact due to the health and energy regen, but doesn't seem to be completely necessary at this point. We'll see how we go. Maybe the Heart of the Wild, for example, the bleeding duration reduction. No, that's not that good. I don't know. I'll think about that, but it doesn't feel compulsory at this point. I do need to keep climbing up this tree and at least get to second right in Occultist. Yeah, so let's go kill some more stuff. You got a little taste of how the gameplay generally goes. It's pretty much put down totems, throw some swarms, shoot my gun, and watch the pets do their damage, especially Mr. what's his name over here, Briarthorn. He does some decent freaking damage, and he's only got 4. I've only got 4 points in him at the moment, and he does all right, man. He's a good tank, decent damage. Him and the Hellhound together, it's gonna be pretty cool. You know, I was considering doing a pure pet mastery, I suppose, but I kind of already dabbled in that with Occultist and demolitionist, which wasn't a pure petmancer either, but I wanted to be more involved. So I'm doing the totems as well as a bit of damage from myself through Devouring Swarm. A whole range of different stuff, which is very, very, very cool. And I'm having a lot more fun to go back to what I was saying before. I needed to do something different. You may have noticed, I mean, the more regular watchers may have noticed that the Grim Dawn videos have been sliding a little bit. I've probably posted less than I wanted to and less than you guys wanted to be seeing. It was because of a little bit of burnout, to be honest. I had to keep the game fresh and do something a little bit different. And so here we are with a not drastically different build to what I've been doing, but it's different enough to make me want to play again. So, we're nearly level 30 here, and I'm getting through it. Part of the reason, of course, is the lack of time as well. It's been a busy couple of weeks, and I do apologize. But I'm hoping I can crank this out with a bit more regularity. The thing is, I mean, the higher you level, the further into each character you get, the longer it takes before you can get another video out, because I try to make decent leaps between episodes. And we got a hero. I think this will be Moneybags. So yeah, look, this build plays pretty well. It's fairly safe for the most part. If you can manage to stand with your Wendigo totem and just chill and let the pets help you out, it tends to be pretty good. Let's do a Primal Spirit. You can have a look at him or her as well. She's pretty cool. She just comes out for 20 seconds. It's a temporary pet, so it's kind of good for boss killing and heroes and those sorts of situations. She does a good job, it must be said. It's a good quick summon. And as you can see, my health isn't really dropping too much thanks to Wendigo Totem, thanks to Devouring Swarm. My health pretty much stays above 2/3, which is really awesome. So it's a pretty safe build, a pretty dynamic build. There's a lot of different ways you can do things. So I'm having a very fun time, in case you can't tell. Excuse me, pardon me, I'll try and edit that out. I was a cough if I did edit it out and you didn't hear it. Anyway, that's probably all I need to show you for now. I'll quickly over armor. I mean, nothing really to write home about at the moment. Mostly focusing on keeping armor up where I can. Trying to buff vitality damage here with the Fleshbound Tome of Decay there, with our Iron Howdah of Decay. Mistwalker Leggings just has some nice buffs on it. Zealot's Gauntlets, always good. Yeah, the vitality damage is the focus, in case you can't tell, because our two main damage types, well, really our three main damage, not types, sorry, outputs come from Wendigo Totem, vitality damage, a Storm Totem with the modifier, vitality damage, and Devouring Swarm, vitality damage. So that's where a lot of our damage is coming from, and will come from, because the Black Grimoire of Ognapesh also does vitality damage, or gives us a lot of vitality damage, I should say. So that's how we rollin', and it's doing pretty good stuff. And yeah, that's probably all I really need to say. It's good times all around. Totems and pets is good fun. And we'll kill this guy, and we'll probably call it here. Excellent. So guys, as always, if you have any questions or concerns or thoughts or comments, please do leave them below. Also, don't be afraid to like the video, as it helps me a whole lot, as I know which content you guys want to see. But on that note, everybody, I should run. I hope to see you again sooner rather than later. My name is Kluger, and you have a good day.